Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Utility Sports. Really excited for this video. The Nike City Edition jerseys are out, and we are going to be reacting to the released jerseys for every single team in the NBA. This is one of my favorite videos every single year to cover because you get to see the new threads for every single NBA team. Of course, some of them have already been released. The Retroplex type jerseys for the Mavs I've been looking at for a while. I actually talked about this back in the spring. There were some leaks about some of these jerseys, so I've already covered quite a few of them, but I'm excited to look at them again and give my official ratings and rankings, especially now that they are officially out. Shout out to newsportslogos.net. They do have this up on their website if you want to go check that out. So let's get into it here now. The first one is the Atlanta Hawks, and I actually quite like the design of this jersey. Of course, a few years ago, you thought kind of the peach tree element of Atlanta there. And this is pretty exciting to me. You see, I think a pretty cool gradient look on the numbers as you can track my mouse here. It starts up a little bit lighter, gets a little bit darker going down, matches kind of the vibrant colors on the outside shoulder and the neck area. I think this is a pretty nice looking jersey. I think Trae Young's going to look awesome rocking this, as well as DeJounte Murray, John Collins. And I would say it's a really solid jersey. If you're an Atlanta Hawks fan or you're looking to get a Trae Young jersey or a DeJounte Murray jersey, maybe some of you Spurs fans out there who are still following DeJounte's career, I would recommend this jersey. It looks actually really nice. I like the black base. When you get a jersey like this with the nice little pop of color next to it, it kind of, pops off the screen here for me. And I think it's going to look really awesome on the court. So for this, I'd probably rate it maybe an 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, somewhere in that range. I think there's room for improvement. It is kind of basic in terms of the overall base and everything. I do like when teams go a little bit further out there for their City Edition jerseys, but with some of these people who are creating these jerseys, it's even outside of the team, and then they ultimately just get approved. So overall, I think 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10. If I'm being lenient, but I think it's an overall good jersey, and I think the whole batch this year does look pretty good. Let's go on to Boston here. I'm not a fan of these ones, though. I just don't really love what's going on the side. It looks like a Christmas Day game jersey to me from, an Adidas type jersey. I'm just not in love with this idea. I don't love the look of it. The cursive on the chest is okay. I can't buy into the side here. I do like the color, the black and gold with the green, I think does look good. I don't know. I'm just not buying into this one. I would probably give it a 4 out of 10. I think it's one of the worst City Edition jerseys. Obviously, the Boston Celtics are so iconic. You typically have to stick with the green, so they don't get a lot of leeway in terms of going outside of that color palette, which I understand. Obviously, limits kind of what their designs are going to look like. We've seen a ton of green jerseys for the Celtics City Editions, but it doesn't look terrible. I think this is one that maybe would look better on the court, especially when the player's arms are down, blocking the side of the jersey there. Again, I'm just not a fan of it. But overall, I would say the idea doesn't look terrible. I just don't know if it's executed as well as it could. So probably, 4 out of 10, maybe a 5 out of 10 if I'm being lenient. The next one here now is that Brooklyn Nets one, which is a mirror image of last year's, but instead of a black or grayish base, they turn it to a white base. And I would say it looks pretty good. I've never really been a fan of the whole, inside the arc Nets writing here. Not something I really love myself. But I do think that the jersey as a whole looks good. I love the paint splatter type look with the blue font as the last name. I mean, it matches the Nike check mark as well, the Nike swoosh. I like it. I don't know if it's as strong as some of the others, though. I'd probably say a 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 6. It's kind of a mid-tier jersey to me, one that is somewhat forgettable, honestly. I did not like their one last year with the gray-ish base. I think the white does look a little bit better, but overall, still not in love with it. I think, again, 6.5 out of 10, probably kind of where I would rate this one. And let me know in the comment section what you guys think about these jerseys as we go through. And here the Charlotte Hornets just missed on this one. They've had some of the best ones. I love the mint that they typically use, like you see on the shoulders here. This just is not it, though. They nearly have a really inappropriate word on the center of their jersey. I know it's supposed to stand for Charlotte. With this piping here that looks like an eye, I would say I don't recommend getting this jersey. I would recommend staying away from this one. I just don't think it looks good. This gold is just not working for me. They're trying to be like the Atlanta Hawks in terms of some of that color palette. It doesn't work for Charlotte. It just doesn't with that teal. There's too much going on here. I think the pinstriping itself doesn't look bad, but I think the whole conglomeration of the jersey just isn't it for me. I would not recommend buying this jersey. I think this is one of the worst ones in the entire batch. I'd probably give it a 2 out of 10. And that's just because I just don't want to give out a 1 out of 10. This jersey is bad. I just do not recommend this jersey at all. Unless you're a diehard Charlotte fan and you're getting every LaMelo Ball jersey, I don't think there's a big reason to buy this one.
Let me get that.
Savannah, if you don't get your moisturized hands off my body wash.
Chicago Bulls won, and again, kind of the same issue that Boston has. It's just basic. You think Chicago Threads, this is what you see. This is, for me, a 5 out of 10. It's not bad. It's not really good, though. It's just whatever. It's in the middle. I don't love it. I don't hate it. If you flip on a game with Chicago wearing this, you might just think, oh, this is their road jerseys, their normal ones. No, this is their city edition. It just is very bland and plain. Obviously, you got these a little bit more interesting stripes on the side and the shoulder and neck area, a little bit different as well. But again, if you look at it at first glance, you're like, oh, did they put the wrong picture here? Is this not the right thing? This is the right one. It just isn't that much different than their actual normal jerseys. So for me, just a 5 out of 10. It's whatever. Going into the next one now, Cleveland. And these ones, I think, are actually pretty good. I don't know if I'm in love with the font here. I think that this could maybe look a little bit nicer. I think one of the things that's throwing me off is this little line in the middle of the numbers. I just don't love that. Same with the line in the middle of the land. And also this little C patch for the Cavs logo. I don't know if I love it. I actually do like the color combination here. You might be saying, wow, you didn't like the Charlotte one. You do like the Cleveland one. Yeah, the Cleveland one here is on a white base, which just makes color pop a little bit better in my opinion, especially when there's no contrasting stripes or anything like that, like we saw in the Charlotte one, which is why I would prefer this over Charlotte's. But it's just not as good as I think it could be, especially with some of the other issues on here. Like I said, I just do not like this line. So for me, probably a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5. It's not bad, not great though either. The Dallas Mavericks logo here, or the new jerseys, excuse me. These are the Retroplex jerseys. Going back to some of those green historical days, you kind of see a more retro font here as well for Dallas. I would say this is a 7.5 out of 10. I like the idea here. I think that the white pops. We also see white on their statement jerseys now as well. So they are kind of leaning into that white a little bit more in their color scheme, which I do like. I like the green here. I specifically really like the green on the Dallas font. I think that it gives off a really nice gradient look, something that I would probably use on a thumbnail, to be honest, something that looks like this. It looks pretty sweet. The one thing I'm just not in love with, though, is the side here. I think that the side striping could have been executed a lot better, and I think they kind of missed the ball a little bit on that. Now, I get it again. They're going for that kind of gradient look where it, segments into a few different colors on the way. I just think it could look better, and because of that, it's like a 7.5 out of 10 for me. I really like the front of the jersey, especially the chest area. I think the back looks good. The side, though, just kind of ruins it for me a little bit, which has been kind of my main gripe with a lot of these jerseys up to this point, is I just don't love the side. To be honest, I think having a plain empty side would look better for a lot of these jerseys, especially if you are going for something like this, like the Mavericks are, where you're executing some colors you typically don't, going back to the green a little bit, like their old logo with the Cowboys hat on there. I like that look a lot. I really do. Again, I just don't love the sides as much though, but I will be getting this jersey of Luka Doncic for sure. Now Denver here, and this one's actually not as bad as I initially thought it was when I first looked at it. The gold piping, the gold little striping here in the shoulders and the collar look really good to me. They've grown on me the more and more I look at it. And I actually really love this fade look that they have on the side here too. I've been pretty critical of the side looks for a lot of these. This looks pretty sweet, especially I like that it has Nuggets actually written out there. It's something completely different. And I don't even think it looks terrible, especially since they match the color there to the shoulders and the collar. I think it looks pretty nice. Good incorporation of that blue. The only thing I don't love, the actual chest of the jersey here. I feel like this could just look better. There's just something about it that doesn't, fit right with me. I think it might be how, like, when you have the colors red, yellow, and blue all together, I just feel like that's pretty strong. I'd still give this an 8 out of 10 because I do really like the collar and the shoulders, like I've said, and the sides on this one look really nice. I just think if it were to have been a 9 or 10, the front would have had to look a little bit different for me. I would have liked to maybe just see a plain red and gold base, kind of like what we see in the collars, and maybe just ditch the blue here. Or if they were to use the blue, maybe use a lighter blue like we see in this gradient fade on the side. Would have looked better to me, but overall still strong jerseys. I'd say 8 out of 10 for Denver. Detroit Pistons here now, and this one is a little wild, I'm not gonna lie. Detroit, I love that they brought the teal jerseys back. I think those are some of the best jerseys in the NBA. These ones, they're gonna take a little getting used to. Not really used to seeing this kind of color for Detroit Pistons basketball. Also, I think the font on the front of the chest looks really weird. You have a cursive looking letter D here for Detroit with the 3 stars on top, but then they have a typical, slanted font that is not cursive. I feel like it would look better if it was all cursive or not all cursive. It just looks a little strange to me, especially when you really focus in right here on these first 2 letters. I just am not in love with what I'm seeing. But I do like the font on the number here. I think that looks awesome. I do think it will look better on the court than it looks in this picture. Typically some of these jerseys, they at first glance you're like, ooh, I don't know if I like that. They tend to look a little bit better. I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 10, maybe a 5, simply because the color's just different for me for Detroit. I don't know if I love that. And again, I just don't really like this change of font after the first letter. It's just a little weird to me, honestly. Golden State's here is kind of crazy. You see kind of like that flower design in the background working into a gradient. They've got it right in the center court or in the center of the jersey there as well. Probably we'll see it on the center court as well. We've seen that with some of their jersey court combinations in the past. These are clean. These look really, really nice. I think these are going to look awesome on the court. I was a big sucker for Utah's multicolored jerseys. And I think anytime you can work a gradient in, it looks pretty good, especially with the center of the jersey. My favorite part here, I like the font that they chose for the chest for the word Warriors. And I love, and I mean, I absolutely love the design here of these lines that are alternating in length. They look so awesome, in my opinion, on the chest. And yes, the Warriors knocked out my Mavericks last year in the playoffs, but there's no bad blood here. I'm going to give these jerseys an 8 out of 10. I think they look good. This center, the logo, or basically the design on the jersey, I'm interested to see how that looks actually on the court, because I feel like maybe at first it could look a little funky, which is why I'm not giving it a 9 or 10. But overall, I do think it looks pretty good still, and I would say that it is a worthwhile jersey to pick up if you're either a Warriors fan, a Steph fan, maybe you're a Klay Thompson fan. Not sure how many Draymond Green fans are still out there. I know Jordan Poole won't be getting a Draymond Green jersey likely, but I mean, these jerseys are pretty cool. So if you want to pick something up like this, I wouldn't fault you at all. The next one now, Houston Rockets. This is an instant 10 out of 10. These are some of the best jerseys that have ever been in the NBA. I'm so thankful to see these back. And they look so good. I'm not going to lie, especially with how sharp this font looks now in the center with Houston and also the numbering. This is one of the best jerseys in the league, quite frankly. I love this jersey. Like I said earlier, I'm a sucker for the teal that the Pistons brought back. I'm also a sucker for these jerseys. I have a Hakeem Olajuwon jersey styled like this in my own personal collection. And heck, I might have to get a Jalen Green one now as well, because look at how good this looks, right? Nike did a great job with this one. The designer, whoever worked on this one, did a phenomenal job as well. Like I said, 10 out of 10 here. Just bringing back kind of the old roots of Houston basketball. And they did so in a sharp way, right? I think it looks really, really awesome. And I think they absolutely killed it with this remake of the jersey. Indiana Pacers here now, and this one looks a little funky. Pacers last night played awesome. Tyrese Halliburton hit one of the most insane shots I've ever seen. And these are some of the more crazy jerseys we've ever seen as well. Now, I'm not going to lie. At first glance, I'm like, oh my gosh, those are ugly. But you look at them and it just kind of makes sense for the Pacers, right? Like this type of striping with like the zigzag in there, I actually kind of sneakily like for Indiana. I still don't think these are great jerseys by any means, but I'm going to give them a 6.5 out of 10, which is pretty lenient based on what my initial thought was when I first saw them. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? But now I look at them and I'm like, these aren't that bad. I kind of like them. They're kind of growing on me. The side is kind of basic and plain, but I don't mind that. I do think that the dark navy blue and black contrasts a little bit, which is why this isn't higher for me. Now, they did break it up pretty decently with this yellow bordering like I talked about. And overall, I mean, the font choice is pretty basic. That's kind of what you'd expect for Indiana basketball, though. They're not going to really color outside the lines too much. So this is kind of out there for them, but I like it, and it's not in a way that really detracts from the jersey. So again, 6.5 out of 10 for me. Here we have the Clippers City Edition jerseys, and they've had some of the best ones over the years. I've loved their use of some of the coloring, some of the different font choices. You think back to their GTA style San Andreas font. We've seen some awesome jerseys from the Clippers in the Kawhi Leonard, Paul George era, and I'm hoping we get to see Kawhi Leonard actually play in these. Again, they're going with the alternating shoulder stripes here, red and blue. They've done that on multiple of their jerseys, and I like this little mosaic tile look behind the actual font for Los Angeles. Again, it looks really clean. They stuck with their traditional numbering, which we've seen them do on a lot of their jerseys as well. I think it would have been cool if they worked in that mosaic tiling behind the actual number. I feel like that could have looked really, really sweet. But I'd probably give this an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. I actually do really like the collar look here as well, with that black striping in there too. It's a really solid jersey. It's a pretty safe jersey, all things considered, even with the mosaic look on there, with the tiling. I still think that, you know, they didn't really go outside the box too much with this one. I do like the little back part of the jersey here as well. You can see the striping on the back end. It looks really, really good. I think it's a strong jersey. I think it's going to look awesome on the court. So again, 8.5 out of 10. The next one now, the Los Angeles Lakers, and I like the idea here. I do. I like the little purple drop down coloring in the font on the number. I like the purple coloring on the collar and the shoulders as well. But this center of the jersey is brutal. I just don't think this looks good at all. You've got all this empty space for no reason here. I just think that looks terrible. Obviously, they tried going left justified for their font choice instead of centered. Again, I don't really understand the idea of that. Let's go back to the other Los Angeles one. You see how there's a centered, and I just think it fills up the chest of the jersey a lot better. They don't have this awkward random space. If Los was right here in the middle, I think it would look a lot more natural. And honestly, what I would prefer for them to do is actually move the number down just about 6 inches and actually fit in their logo here instead of font. And I think that would have looked much better. Because of this, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Again, I do like the idea that was here. I just think that they didn't execute it as well as they could have with the font choice in the middle. It just doesn't look that good to me. You know, I like the colors. Again, I do. I think these will look good on the court, especially from behind. But when you're looking at that chest, you're going to say, whoa, what's all that space for? Looks a little funky to me. So again, 5 out of 10 for them. The Memphis Grizzlies here now, and we kind of see a little bit of homage to Vancouver here with the font choice, especially the arcing there in the lettering. But, you know, they're holding on to their current roots as well with some of the side symboling that we've seen, and also the coloring around the numbers and also the logo. This is kind of like a blend of what we saw a few years ago from them. But also with a good homage to Vancouver, like I said. I think that's really nice. I like that they have a plain shoulder, something we haven't seen on a lot of these jerseys, where they're just going with the same base color and they're not putting any striping in there. It makes the collar striping pop a lot more, in my opinion. I'd give this a 7.5, maybe even an 8 out of 10. I think these are going to look awesome on the court. John Morant probably is going to chase down block somebody this year, and these jerseys are going to be in highlight reels forever, which I'm hoping, because they do look pretty good, and I like the side of them quite a bit as well. I think that they are out of the box, but they're not too far out of the box that they are too much going on. So for me, I like them quite a bit. Miami Heat here now. This is a 9 out of 10. Basically, they took their jersey design from last year, which was a 10 out of 10 in my opinion with the black base. They made it white, and now it drops down 1 grade because I think the white just doesn't look as good as the black does, especially with this idea of, hey, we're going to alternate a whole bunch of different looks from some of our previous jerseys. You know, obviously that M is a throwback. I mean, all of these, you know, font choices are throwbacks. And it's cool because the players get to choose what they want and how it looks and everything. And I think it's a really cool idea. I think it's a really progressive move for jersey choices on something you just typically don't see in the NBA, which is why, again, it's going to be one of the higher rated jerseys here. There's a ton of creativity that goes into this one. I do like the end result. I think it does look really good. But I think, again, just the black looked better than this one does. So for me, I'm going to go 9 out of 10. But if someone were to argue that this is still a 10 out of 10 jersey, I don't think I would hate it as much. Let's say this one came out last year and the black one came out this year. I probably would have ranked both of them 10 out of 10. It's cool. It's out there. It's different, but it's not too crazy. It actually looks pretty good on the court. So I like it quite a bit. Milwaukee Bucks here. Knew they were going with blue this year. Something that is a little weird to me, seeing Milwaukee wearing blue jerseys. Obviously, they still got that cream lettering in there, so it doesn't look bad. I actually really like this side design. We've seen that before in some of their jerseys in the past. It looks really good. The blue, though, for me, drops it down. I would say this is a 7 out of 10. It's not going to look bad on the court. In fact, I think it's going to look really good on the court. If you are a diehard Bucks fan, or you really like Giannis or Middleton, or maybe even Drew Holiday. I know we have some Drew Holiday fans that watch the channel. I would recommend getting this jersey still. I think it's a cool one to have in the collection. But just a disclaimer, when you are looking in the closet and you see, oh, a blue jersey, is that the Mavericks? Or what team is this? Is that a Timberwolves jersey? What is it? You're going to be like, oh, shoot, that's right. I got that blue Bucks jersey, because you're just not going to put two and two together if you haven't looked at it for a while. You know, you're walking around. If somebody sees it from the side or something, or just, you know, they're kind of glancing at you, they're not going to think Bucks right away. So that's one of the issues I have with it. Now, it's still cool. It's not bad, but I think that the coloring is just a little weird. I wasn't a fan of it back in the spring when this jersey got leaked. And looking at it again now, I'm like, it's not bad, but the blue is a little weird to me.
Try Swiffer Sweeper Wet. It gives me the cleaning power of a mop and the convenience of a wipe. Start Swiffering.
Next one now, Minnesota Timberwolves. And hopefully the players like this one, because this is a little weird. You know, someone who I've spent a lot of time in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I know Minnesota quite well. There's a lot of murals downtown in Minnesota, so I think that's what this is drawing inspiration from. I just think that it's kind of poorly done. The back is extremely boring. You look at this and you might say, oh, is that a San Antonio Spurs jersey? Did Karl Towns get traded there? No, he didn't. He's just wearing a really boring back city jersey. And the front side is like not boring, but in a weird way. It's got like a lot going on. I understand they were looking for a kind of mural, you know, look with some texturing and tiles there. I do like this center stripe here, because it, you know, the three-dimensional look of, oh, hey, look, it's overlaying these other stripes. Kind of looks kind of cool. But the rest of the jersey is just so plain and boring. I think I would have liked if Minnesota was actually overlaid over this as well, kind of like how in a mural you typically have like that mural type background with an actual, you know, public figure drawn over top of that. I think that they missed the opportunity to use that with their actual font. And overall, it just looks a little weird. The Wolves haven't been playing super great this year either, but this jersey is a miss for me. I'd say a 4 out of 10. I think it will look better on the court, especially against some of the players wearing it. You know, you look at, you know, players like D'Angelo Russell. I think D'Lo is going to actually really like this jersey. Karl Towns. Some of these players are going to have the jersey on. It's going to look quite good, but I don't know. As of right now, I just don't think it's that strong of a jersey, honestly. The next one here, New Orleans, kind of going with their traditional scheme. I actually own the white jersey of this, where this like dark purple-ish, blackish color was replaced with white. That was one of their City Edition jerseys. A few years ago, I got a Lonzo Ball jersey. That one obviously didn't stick in New Orleans, but still think it's a pretty cool jersey. And this, to me, I think is even better, honestly. I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10. I think that the dark base actually makes these colors pop a little bit more, and in a way that doesn't look so contrasty, honestly. Like, it kind of just flows into that a little bit better. I do like the color on this one as well. Basic sleeves here does look pretty good to me. I think this could have maybe looked better if they cut a purple line right through here to match this stripe. I think would have looked a little bit more natural, but at the end of the day, still pretty good. I think it's well executed. Again, 7 or 8 out of 10. The Knicks here now, and they're going pretty basic here. The only real difference here is they got that NYC patch on it with the Nike logo overlaid on it. Looks pretty good. 6 out of 10. Again, the Knicks, Bulls, Celtics, they all fall into the same little trap of, hey, we're an iconic brand. We're not going to change up our look. Okay, yeah, you're not going to, which means I'm going to look at your jerseys and be pretty bored when you get new ones because they're the same thing as your old ones. So for me, there's just not a lot different here. I do like the orange in terms of the collar and shoulder areas, but still for me, not enough to really warrant a high grade. Oklahoma City here, kind of meh. This is a 4 out of 10. Don't really want to spend too much time talking about this one, honestly. The side's got an interesting design look on it. I just don't love the conglomeration of color here. The base of the jersey, the like darkish silverish gray, doesn't really look that good to me. I think they missed the ball here, honestly, and I don't know. It's okay because they're going to be tanking by January anyway, so I'm not really too worried about it. The next one here, Orlando, and these actually look really cold. I really like Orlando's jerseys here. This is like perfectly executed pinstriping, in my opinion. It's like really faint, not really super obvious that it's there, but when you look at it, you say, wow, that looks good. I like their center logo, their center font as well. Again, I would still be a fan if this was just replaced with their actual team logo, like we've seen on some Phoenix Suns jerseys in the past. And you move the numbering down a little bit and make like a nice big center patch of your jersey, of your logo on your jersey. I would like that a lot for them. But overall, I think these jerseys do look good. I actually really like the coloring choice here as well on the collar and shoulders, and the side striping looks nice. It's well done in my opinion. So I'd probably give this a 9 out of 10, honestly. It's going to look a little plain on the court. And I'm worried that TV broadcast won't showcase it as well as this picture does. But just based on this picture alone, 9 out of 10, maybe it's got room to go down if it doesn't look as good on TV, maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10 then. But overall, I think it looks good. And if you're a Magic fan, not that there's many of you out there, so shout out to you if you are one. But I would say get one of these jerseys and probably get one. Get a Paulo jersey or a Franz Wagner jersey. Those are the two guys that are going to be around there for a while. And I recommend getting a collection of them. And this is a pretty good one to do it with. Philadelphia 76ers here now, sticking with that city of brotherly love look. It's pretty good. For me, I think it's like one of those jerseys that in idea, it looks awesome. This, like the fact here, the one thing I don't like is they have like the city of in this like bluish color. I just think if they would have kept it red, it would have looked nicer. Like for me, 7 out of 10, kind of plain. There's not a lot going on. The colors help it pop a little bit better than Minnesota's does, though, which is why it's not nearly as low, especially on the backside. If this was just plain black and white, you'd be like, what are we looking at? Kind of boring. It's got a little bit more pop to it. I do like this striping here on the side. So it's not bad, but probably a 6 out of 10 for me. The Phoenix Suns here, this one's out there. This is what I was talking about putting your center logo on the center of the jersey. I really like this. I just don't like anything else on this jersey. Now, I think that this jersey could maybe look one of the best out of all of them when it's actually on the court, because jerseys like this that look a little funky, sometimes they pop and you're like, wow, that looks really good during an actual NBA game. And I'm not saying that this one won't. I'm just not certain it will either. I would say probably a 3 out of 10 right here. And part of the reason, so I actually really like this color blue. This is one of my favorite colors. I think the side design here is pretty cool. I just hate the red. If this was just black and there was no white stripe in here and it kind of just matched what they put on for the Nike swoosh and the logo, I think it could look awesome. Even if they went with this like multicolored design here in the middle as their striping in the shoulder and collar area, I think it would have looked better. This could have maybe been an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 jersey for me, but it just isn't because of some of these flaws. I don't like the red with the light blue. I don't.
Swiffer Wet-Jet prevents streaks and haze better than a mop. Love it or your money back.
Enough for two, price for one. Math makes me hungry. New Pizza Hut Melts, just $6.99.
And then we get into Portland, and this is one of the best jersey designs here. PDX, obviously the Portland airport, they actually have the carpeting design and coloring here, which I think is such a well done city edition jersey. Remember, the city edition is supposed to represent the region you play in, the state you play in, and of course the city you play in. And representing the airport here, this is one of the first things. Think about it. You travel to Portland, most people would fly in there, especially if you're coming from anywhere toward the east of Portland, which is 98% of the United States. You will fly into Portland and you're going to say, wow, look at that. That's a pretty interesting carpet design. And it would all make sense here when you saw these jerseys. I really like this idea. They keep their old Rip City look with the, striping the way that it is. You see this instantly. You know this is a Portland Trailblazers jersey, but it's completely different coloring. And I think it looks so awesome. I'm not going to lie. I really like this jersey. Recommend picking this one up. I would say 8 out of 10 here for this one. Sacramento Kings here, paying homage back to the Mike Bibby era. This is some of the worst side striping I've ever seen. And this is an example of doing too much here. They're just trying to make this pop more. And the reason that they have to is they chose a really boring gray base. Now, I think the numbering here looks awesome. The font looks really good. And the interior of the font, I think the design on there looks really good with that three-dimensional type look in the numbers. The center logo, center font here of Sacramento looks really good. But again, this side is just boring and doing too much to me. And the base is boring. So don't love it. They also missed the opportunity to make this Nike swoosh purple. I think that would have popped a little bit better as well. But simply because of this side striping, I have to give this like a 4 out of 10. It's just not that good of a jersey. San Antonio here going way, way, way out of the realm of normality for San Antonio in more recent years. Obviously, we've seen them kind of open up to a little bit more of that Fiesta vibe, and I like these. I'm not going to lie. If the Spurs had like a good player that I knew was going to be there for the next 8 years, I would get this jersey. Some people will say, oh, Keldon Johnson. Yeah, they might flip him. Who knows? We'll see. But these Fiesta jerseys look really good. I like the font here on this as well. It's actually kind of like funky looking. It looks like a toddler drew it, which you would maybe say, oh, that's kind of a negative at first, but it looks pretty good, especially with their font choice for the numbering. It's funny that it's a Derek White jersey here. That's kind of my point here on why I wouldn't get it, but I think the side striping is awesome. The colors pop. The Fiesta jerseys always look good in my opinion. So again, I'm going to 8 out of 10 here. I think it looks pretty solid. Toronto Raptors here, again, really basic. This looks like a normal Toronto Raptors jersey. Because of that, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It doesn't look bad. It looks pretty clean. Obviously, there's some font and some, a little bit of design here. I just don't know how much you're going to see it if you were walking around with the jersey like this on, or if you're watching on TV broadcast. How much is that going to pop out? Probably not a lot because it's a dark color on dark color. So I don't know. It's kind of plain. It's not bad, but it's not going to be super memorable either. Utah Jazz here, obviously throwing it back with their throwback editions of the Karl Malone, John Stockton era. And of course, to Karl Malone, age is just a number. So why not bring these back, right? Obviously, some of you will get that joke that I just made there. But Utah, I mean, these jerseys are going to look awesome. The Jazz are playing super great. So, hey, we have a good basketball product with a really good jersey. These are 9 out of 10 jerseys. Some of the best jerseys ever worn in the NBA. As you can see, I'm not giving out a ton of 10 out of 10s, but I think that these are right up there. I think they're a little overrated. I prefer the Rockets throwbacks over these, but at the end of the day, I think they're still very, very good. The Washington Wizards here with the cherry blossom jerseys. These are phenomenal. These are some of the best done jerseys in this entire grouping. I would say 9 out of 10 here. These look great. Going with the pink jersey is really out there. I think one of the best parts of the jersey that really ties it all together here is actually the little cherry blossom on the eye. You make sure to dot your I's. And the Wizards, I mean, they did it here. They dotted their I with a perfect way to cap off the jersey. They crossed their T's, dot their I's, and they made it look really good. I love the side striping here. Again, this is an example of doing it a little bit quieter, but still different, and it looks nice. And I think the blue here actually really perfectly complements the pink. Typically don't think about pink and blue as a good, collection of colors. They look really great here. Love these jerseys for Washington. And that's the City Edition jerseys this year. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. I had a ton of fun going through them. Again, we're going to go up to that top picture again, get one final look. Make sure to comment which ones you really loved the most here. There was a lot of good jerseys in here. For me, my favorite one is probably that Houston Rockets one. But I think the Wizards one is right up there as well. I do like Dallas's. Atlanta's look pretty nice too. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. A lot of good jerseys here, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.
With ESPN Plus, you can catch nonstop NFL action 7 days a week with live.
This jersey, which is crazy to say, I know. It's me, your normal jersey ranker, and I'm here to talk about the 2022-2023 City jerseys. And hey, I'm biased. I'm letting you know right now, this one right here is an S tier. As of right now, I am one of the few people in the entire world with this jersey, which is crazy to say. I know some of y'all probably already ordered it, but you ain't got it in hand like I do, and it's my name on the back. Shout out to my Chicago Bulls. But every team, I think, did every team release a jersey? I guess we'll find out. Some of them I haven't even seen before. I want to remind people that these are all my personal opinions. It is fashion at the end of the day. And I know all of these have a bigger message dealing with the cities or the people incorporated in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm strictly based on how it looks instead of diving into the intricacies of the jersey. Are we ready? Good. Shout out to Kofi over on Twitter. He's the only person I know of to put it all in one spot for people. So shout out to him. I'll get this out of the way. I'm 100% biased, and I'm not even going to try to hide it. I love this jersey. It is my city. It's my favorite team. I love it. You know what? For a majority of these jerseys, I'm going to go onto Twitter because I do believe that the shorts matter a ton. The Atlanta Hawks are actually playing in the jerseys right now as I record this video. And I honestly do believe this is some of the best jersey work. I mean, I love the font. I'm a sucker for orange for sure. Not even talking about the court because it don't matter in the sense of this video. But man, oh man, did Atlanta show out. I think I put it in the A tier for now with the possibility of going up to the S tier. The C's put together a little promo video, so no real pictures. It's clean. You know what? I'm actually a fan of this one because the Boston Celtics don't have a great history of stepping outside the comfort zone. And I don't think they really stepped outside of it, but it's not super traditional. And because of that, I'm kind of rocking with it. I'm also a local optimist. I love a lot of different things. The Basquiat flip, they did this a few years ago, was it last year with the Basquiat inspired thing. And because it is exactly what we've seen before, just in a different colorway, I might even put a D tier. I mean, there's a lot going on in Brooklyn, so maybe they ain't really think about doing the jerseys or trying to do something new. It was an okay design originally, and yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I do love the Julius Erving / whatever ones they've been wearing. The red, white, and blue ones are fire, but this one, not so much. I think there's a reason why they photographed this in dim lighting. This is one of the worst ones. I'm gonna be honest with you. Charlotte has so much potential. They've actually done some good jerseys in the past. This one doesn't do it for me. The CLT across the chest, it's only one word that comes to mind when I see CLT, and it ain't a word that I want to wear on the jersey. Yeah, I don't really like this jersey. I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, an optimist. I might add another tier and throw this down in the F. Oh man, is that too much? I don't like this jersey. And I'm a huge fan of pinstripes. You're gonna see that throughout this video. I love a good pinstripe, but not right there, man. The court, nah. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan, man. I don't really like it. Nothing's gonna be a F tier. We're gonna put it in the D tier. Do we move on to Cleveland? So here's the Cleveland one. They didn't have any pictures of players in it, so these are just normal models. What is this sexy ass video they put together? Why are we? Oh, look at it now. You messing up the vibes. Karis and Emo was looking into your soul, trying to seduce you, and then Isaac is like, "Hi, I'm Isaac." That's. Oh man, oh no, that's serial killer looks from Lamar. I think there's potential. I need to see the shorts. I'm putting it in the C tier. So the Mavs one is a throwback. I think that they did an amazing job with like the setting up of the jersey. I love a good little retro whatever. But the jersey itself, it's a lot to be desired, man. I have not been a fan of a single Dallas Mavericks jersey, man. So because of that, I'm throwing it in C. So they threw it back quite a bit with this one. I'm seeing Dikembe Mutombo. It's okay. Actually, this straight on look convincing me a little bit. I was thinking like I was thinking pretty bad, low key. Right here, it feels like the proportions are off for some reason. And now I'm thinking to myself, is that better than the Land one? Is that better than Dallas one? I think it's also C tier. Man, am I really a local optimist? If I'm half of the ones I've looked at so far, more than half of the ones I've looked at is like, maybe this is not a good year for the city jersey. I don't know. I actually saw people talking about that they believe that it's got to the point where we don't even need city jerseys every single year. But you know they will because money. I mean, I already got 2 Cade Cunningham jerseys. Let me go get this third one because, man, this is kind of clean. They didn't really do much promo for it, unless this is considered the promo. Okay, now it is. Okay, this video got it. This video got it. I love the action shots of everything. I'm sure they tell you exactly why, what's the inspiration behind it. Just give me a smooth little cut of the... They put Killian Hayes in a hype-up video. Negative points. I'm joking. Big Sean is the best thing we gonna get is that right there. Okay, this is a perfect frame. Dang, I need to see the shorts. It kind of like the shorts are fire. I think the shorts might be fire, y'all. Actually, whoa. No, I think Detroit did their thing on this one. Maybe I'm bugging. I'm putting it in the B tier, Detroit.
Stream 85 plus live channels with no hidden fees. YouTube TV. Try it free.
I feel different.
I think you did something nice. That video got me. The Warriors are next, and you know what? From the pictures I've seen, I absolutely hate this jersey. Look, it's terrible. This is the worst jersey we've seen today by far. By far, the worst jersey we've seen today. This is hideous. And I don't even use words like that. I hate this jersey. Is this right here? Terrible. It's just bad. It just looks, I don't know, bro. It looks Rue 21-ish. And when you $1 billion, I don't know, I'm just making that number, multi-billion-dollar company, it just that's not where you shop. You know, I shop at Rue. You feel me? I go to Rue. But when you designing jerseys, Rue is not the feel you want. If it was something lower than D tier, I would put it there. I mean, technically, I guess there is something lower than D tier, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not giving it enough. I'll give it a D. But I think Basquiat is better than that. I think the Clint jersey is better than that. Did the Rockets just run it back? I've seen this jersey before. Did they just run it back? It's a clean jersey. I'll put it in the B tier. I honestly think it's super hard to mess up shorts. I think majority of shorts are gonna be really clean. I ain't rocking with it though. It's better than some of the other ones, but it don't wow me. I be doing these videos and people be thinking that I'm like a jersey collector. When in reality, the 90% of the jerseys that I have, either y'all sent to me or like the Bulls gave to me. That's basically my jersey collection. I'm not a collector by any means, but I do enjoy jerseys considering we watch 6 hours of basketball a day. We got to look at these. So it's inspired by the Drew League. Like stained glass, is that what they going for? I don't understand. I don't know. I'm throwing it in the B tier, I guess, and we move on to the Lakers. I honestly think the Lakers do a pretty good job with their jerseys, historically speaking. This was probably lower on the totem pole compared to some of the recent ones, but it's still all right. Okay. Memphis, you might have did it again, bro. Underrated when it comes to their jerseys, man. The MLK one was fire as hell. And they doing our mixtape covers? Yeah, I'm sorry. This is yep. That's the best one I've seen so far. I mean, outside of obviously. Yeah, I'm putting that next tier. The Miami Heat one I hate. It's just a flop of the one we've seen before, and I didn't like the one we've seen before, so this doesn't. They went from having like some of the best jerseys to the last couple of years. They kind of phoning it in, if you ask me. So I'm not rocking with it. Do love the side. The shorts are actually, I said the shorts are usually really good. I don't really mess with these shorts, I'm gonna be honest with you. But I do like the blue, and I do like the top side of this jersey. You know what I'm saying? Going all the way down, it's like, but the jersey itself is clean. I'll put it in the B tier. Now, the Timberwolves one leaked like a month ago, and people hated it. And you know what? It's still not good. But the shorts are fine. The shorts are up there. The jersey, it's not good, man. It's not good at all. But the shorts are cool because I like that it doesn't go across both legs. I like that it's just that left leg right there. But the jersey's terrible. I feel like I'm hating, but I'm just being honest with y'all. These are not good. It's another one of those ones that just make me shrug my shoulders, you know? I like the font, but it's probably a C tier. I only saw screenshots of it, but now seeing it in action, it's a very similar design to some of the ones I grew up watching. And I think they look kind of clean. I would love to see a person with them on, though. I cannot believe that the only thing they've done is tweeted it like no pictures, nobody in it. L Social post in New York. L Social posted. Everybody else got multiple videos or screenshots, like something. We don't got nothing on this. It's a clean jersey though. And I guess it was designed by Kith or helped be designed by Kith. I don't know. I'll put it in the B tier. I heard a lot of people hated this jersey. And now that I see it, I kind of understand it. The bottom of the shorts, this part right here, this orange part that's going all the way through, I don't like. I would have probably cut it off as me with having no design experience. The tops are, you know, all right. They actually got that wishbone neck that we was talking about with the Dallas Mavericks. Show me the shorts. I need to see the shorts. Like I said, I'm a sucker for some pinstripes. And even though they very faint on this one, it's cool. This is probably the most left field jersey out of them all. To have the Portland Trailblazers in this color, these colors, is not something I ever would have imagined. And I know some people hate when teams go outside of like their normal colors and feel, but I think it can work. Just looking at this screenshot basically of Anthony in the jerseys, I actually like them. They don't feel like Portland Trailblazer jerseys. Again, that might turn some people off, but for me, not too bad. 76er jerseys are kind of to me. I feel like I'm saying it about everything. Again, maybe this is just a bad year for jerseys. Phoenix one is terrible. It's terrible. It's one of the worst out of them all, if I'm being honest with you. It's very bad. It's actually my first time really looking at the Sacramento Kings one. And, dang. These pictures right here, the first two, I'm like, okay, I'm rocking with it. And then we get to the side view. Sacramento proud. It's just not a good year for jerseys I'm seeing. Wow. I got so many that I'm like, about, and so many that I just absolutely hate. Wow. It's not a great bunch, I guess. I don't know. The font is kind of throwing me off here. The font is really throwing me off on these. Oh, it's different to see the trim up top be different from the trim on the side. I low-key kind of like that. And the Wizards one we've seen quite a bit already. What is it? Cherry Blossom ones. They are painfully okay to me. All right, after going through all 30, was it 30? After going through all of them again, this is my new rankings. I moved the Knicks and the Detroit Pistons up to the A tier. I moved Denver, Toronto, the Land, and the Lakers up again to B. And I moved the Suns and the Washington Wizards up. I was being too harsh on those. Maybe it's because I had already seen it, so there was no surprise element. They're pretty clean, just like the Washington Nationals one was. But I think this is the way we rocking with it. These are my personal opinions, man. Let me know what you think.